Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gerard, Witch of Earth's Curious Kids, and today we're gonna do day 2 of the Yule 12 Days of Yule challenge. And for day 2, you're supposed to share your altar or decorations. So I'm gonna take you guys along with me, and we are going to take a look at my altar and probably just a few decorations. But that'll all make sense in just a minute. So yeah, come along with me as I get my altar together. And without further ado, let's begin. So first things first, this is my altar. This is one of my altars. This is kind of one of the main altars that I do have. We're just going to tidy it up and kind of prepare it fully for this season. It is kind of put together, I guess, in a way that is very pleasing to me, but I always like to take it a step further. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is kind of clean this all up, bring it all together, kind of give it a good cleansing, and give it that winter solstice Yule feel. So yeah. So the rest is just going to be me doing that, and I'm going to take you guys along, and then we'll talk about it more. Okay, so first thing, I'm just taking, hold on, hopefully that focus, just taking some cleansing spray, and I just cleanse the area around my altar, my sacred space. This cleansing spray is just cleansing spray that I've created. I sell it in my shop, and a lot of my earthy people are using this, so you guys already know how this works. Okay, next all I'm doing is taking a little plastic container. It has distilled water, some paper towels, and I'm just going to add some things to this distilled water. Anytime I deal with the altar, you want to, in my opinion, I like to use very cleansed things to cleanse the altar, I guess, if that makes sense. So that's all I'm doing. And I just add a little bit of Florida water with my little mixture of additional things to it. So I've got like my little herbs and things and so forth inside of it. Then I like to take my, this is Blue Moon water. I like to add that to the water. Oh, and this is also, so it's Blue Moon water and then holy water kind of mixed together, I'm sorry. But I always add that to the mix as well. And then I just dip my paper towel and I just start kind of wiping the altar down. And I promise you guys, the altar is usually very clean, but you'd be surprised how much your altar attracts dust in just a short amount of time. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but at least that's me. I'm like, didn't I just clean this altar? And it seems like I didn't clean it at all. Just dry it off really good. Those of you that are using my cleansing spray, it smells so good, oh my gosh. All right, now that it's nice and dry, I begin building the altar up. For my altar, I always have the Virgin Mary statue on here. I make sure it's not dusty or anything to make sure it's nice and wiped down. This has kind of been passed down through my family, so it's with me. The Virgin Mary also for me is the Mother Goddess figure. So when it comes to any goddess energies and so forth, I connect with the Virgin Mary. And she kind of centers in the middle of my altar. And then there's always like crosses and so forth. There's crystals. My crystals that I wear daily always stay on the altar at the end of the day, or if it needs to be charged. I have 2 candle holder things kind of centering. Gives me that aesthetic as well. And then I just add candles here. Right now they're both Virgin Mary candle, 7-day candles on here. But sometimes I'll change it up. Sometimes there'll be like a Jesus candle here, or just a different color candle. Sometimes they're both red candles, both white candles. It all depends. Okay, then I put a focal point here. This is kind of like where I keep my crystals, star anise on here. This is one of the offering bowls that I dedicate to the Triune God. This is water that I refill every day. Sometimes I'll miss a day. I always like say a prayer and so forth, or some sort of spell to consecrate everything. Some of my favorite crystals on here, it just kind of resonates. I have my oracle decks on here. Place offerings onto my altar area. In the offerings I have oats and coffee and wish beans and flour, and the offerings will change depending on what I'm called to put there. Then I put like another plate here. This is like the main offering area. So usually whatever's going on with the season, I'll put offerings there. So right now it's cinnamon sticks, and we're gonna put some more herbs and so forth, but we'll get to that in a minute. And I've got my candles. Right now, especially when it comes to the winter solstice and Yule, you'll see a lot of lighting of candles for me, representing light. And then, for difference, when it comes to the winter solstice, the only real main difference is I put extra crystals that have been with me for many, many years, and they just resonate with me. But these change up constantly depending on what the altar needs or what crystal's being called to. I tend to put more crystals onto the altar during any of the holidays. But there's quartz, amethyst. I do put a selenite tower on there, an amethyst pyramid tower on there. There's tiger's eye, there's aventurine. There's a lot of crystals on this. But you know, it's mainly during the holidays that I put a lot more crystals than usual. But the main crystals that I always keep on the altar are usually black tourmaline, quartz, tiger's eye, and amethyst. Tourmaline, if you guys know, is very protective, grounding, kind of shielding. Tiger's eye kind of gives you that same feel, but more for luck as well, deterrence. Amethyst amplifies. Quartz is kind of a master crystal, so it amplifies and does other things. It all depends also what intentions you put into each crystal. But I added selenite for moon power, as well as cleansing. And then I added more amethyst, especially for the amethyst pyramid, to focus in some of that and amplify. And I've got my main tarot deck. I also do work with the runes. The runes aren't one of my main divinatory tools, but I do respect the runes and they do resonate with me. As far as, you know, the traditions behind it and so forth, they're very powerful in my opinion. But I don't use it as much as my tarot cards. I really resonate with tarot cards. Then I put my Blue Moon Holy Water back on here. Okay, and some additional things that I do add for seasonal. I do flower offerings. Depending on the season, I do change up the type of flower that goes onto there. And then for the offering plate, I'm going to be adding more coffee. I'm going to be adding some cinnamon along with the cinnamon sticks. And I'm going to be adding cloves this time. I definitely only add cloves around like winter solstice. Sometimes I'll add cloves during the autumn equinox, but definitely for the winter solstice, I love cloves. Cloves definitely have a very protective energy to it. Then on the side here, you guys probably can't really see it, but I do have some poppets. So I definitely have little poppets. Hopefully it zooms in, hopefully. Let me see. Let me see if it'll zoom in. You guys can see that. There you go. So I do have poppets. I also like to add fresh herbs to these poppets depending on the season. So for these poppets, I'm adding some star anise to them. Give it a little oomph. I always add more and more to these poor poppets. I love working with poppets. There we go. So we just added some star anise to them along with the herbs that were already inside of them, and then I placed them for protection. Can you tell that I love protection spells and protection poppets and so forth? If you're a witch, you guys understand, especially when you're working with spell work, protection, warding, you always want to. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of the other world and liminal spaces and spirits and so forth. You definitely want some protection. Plus, you just never know. Some people just have some ill intent, and especially if you're in the public eye, I would highly recommend protection. But those poppets that I just showed you also have other purposes as well. It all depends on the intention. So I love working with poppets because a lot of people will look at a poppet and they automatically assume that it's something baneful, and that's not always the case. It could be for healing and protection and so much more. Maybe I should do a video on poppets. Comment down below if you guys want me to do a video on poppets. That'd be cool, on how to make them and so forth. But anyhow, yes, so I'm going to bring you guys in close so you guys can see the altar and kind of the ending to it. So here we go. Ta-da. Perfect. So you see, so I have all of the crystals, my divination tools, candles all set up, water offering. That water is changed daily, always. Anything that you would eat or drink or use, that's kind of what, for me personally, that's what I offer up to God to say thank you and grateful and so forth. And then I have my Virgin Mary statue. This is the goddess form that I work with. And then some more, of course, the 3 candles here. I always like to keep 3 candles on the altar during the winter solstice and Yule, and all the different crystals. I definitely love working with crystals. If you guys have crystals, you have to work with them. It kills me to see people that have crystals and they never touch them, or they just have them on a windowsill. They have crystals that they just have never touched or looked at ever again after purchasing them. Treat it like a friend, in my opinion, okay? Or, and I'm not saying like, you know, you have to like always talk to them 24/7, but don't ignore them, you know? They're from the earth. They resonate with you. You got them for a reason. If you have too many crystals and you can't keep track of them, it might be time to let them go to their next journey or return them to the earth, in my opinion. But, you know, do what you will. But yeah, so let me kind of come out so you guys can see the full altar. Oh yes, I love it. And then a moon and sun representing the god and goddess aspect. Triple moon, I kind of decorate. So this is kind of the surrounding decorations. But you definitely always want to make your sacred space your space, you know, kind of what it resonates with you. Well, I hope you like day 2 of the 12 Days of Yule challenge set by Ivy the Occultist. Once again, I'll leave that in the description box if you want to check out their channel. And also, thank you for coming along with me for the altar. And keep in mind, when you're making your altar, you know, that for me, that's my whole decoration for winter solstice. In my opinion, I don't feel like your altar has to be extravagant if you don't want to. I want to say, when I first began, when I was a teenager, just beginning in witchcraft, and maybe this resonates with you, all I had was a candle and maybe a little cloth. That was my altar space, and it worked. It resonated. My magic was no less than what it is now, okay? So just build up to whatever you're comfortable with, and maybe you'll never have a extravagant altar. Maybe you'll never have anything that looks like my altar. That's perfectly fine. Make the magic your own, right? Because this is something personal to you. Whether it's somewhere out in nature and you found a little tree trunk that you want to make your altar, or if it's just a single candle like me back then. And I just knew that I had I just built up to what I have now, and this resonates. And if you notice, it's still minimal, right? I don't have like an altar cloth. Maybe in the future, I am kind of thinking about it, but it all depends on what resonates, what feels right to me, right? Because I'm working in that space. You're going to be working in your space, right? So don't make that space because what you think everybody else is doing or what you think everybody's going to like. It's all about what you like and how you connect with your energies, your ancestors, your god and goddesses, and so forth, what have you. But just make sure to make the magic your own, okay? And yeah. Thank you for coming along with me to take a look at my altar and some of the decorations. Just shows you some of the poppets and kind of things on the wall. Yeah, just resonates with me. I kind of like them. Hope you liked it too. Well, till next time, and as always, stay earthy, stay magical, and don't forget, love yourself and others. Bye for now.